Hello, my name is David Humphrey, and I'm the student director of the 39 Steps. We want to be sure that beyond shadow of a doubt, our performance will not be disturbed. So please take this moment to make sure that your cell phones or other electronic devices are turned off or on silent. Also, please refrain from using any flash photography during this evening's performance, as it will blind our actors, and I don't think anybody wants that. If you have any young children who may go psycho during this evening's performance, please feel free to dial M for murder or quietly excuse yourself until they have calmed down. And finally, to prevent any of you from getting vertigo, I must inform you that there will be some live gunshots fired during this evening's performance. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the 39 Steps.
London, 1935. August. I'd been back 3 months in the old country and frankly wondering why. The weather made me liverish, no exercise to speak of, and the talk of the ordinary Englishman, it made me sick. I'd had enough of restaurants and parties and race meetings, and no power to go about with. Which probably explains things. Hobby binge, lost in the Canadian Treasury. Tommy De Lorraine married off to a blonde heiress in Chicago. Chips Carruthers eaten by crocodiles in the Limpopo. Leaving me, Richard Hannay, 37 years old, sound and wind in limb, back home. Which is no home at all, really, if you want to know. Just a dull little rented flat in West 1. Portland Place, actually. And I was bored. No, more than bored. Tired. Tired of the world and tired of life, to be honest. So I called my broker. Wasn't in. Dropped into my club, full of old colonial buffers. Had a scotch and soda, picked up an evening paper, put it back. Full of elections and wars and rumors of wars, and I thought, who the bloody hell cares, frankly? What does it all matter? What happens to anyone? What happens to me? No one would miss me. I wouldn't miss me. I could quite easily just... And then I thought, wait a minute, come on, Hannay, pull yourself together, man. Find something to do, you bloody fool. Something mindless and trivial. Something utterly pointless. Something... I know, a West End show. That should do the trick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And now, with your kind attention, I have the immense honor and privilege to be presenting to you one of the most remarkable men ever in the whole world, Mr. Memory. Settle down now. Every day, Mr. Memory commits to memory 50 new facts and remembers every single one of them. Facts from history and from geography, from newspapers and scientific books. In fact, more facts is in his brain than is possible to conceive. Settle down now, please. I'll also be mentioned that before retiring, Mr. Memory has kindly consented to leaving his entire brain to the British Museum for scientific purposes. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now ready myself for this evening's performance and clear my inner being of all extrinsic and supernumerary material.
Is this seat taken?
Not as far as I know.
Are you ready for the questions, Mr. Memory?
Quite ready for the questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now, first question, please. Well, come on now. Yes, sir. What was that, sir? Who won the cup in 1926? Who won the cup in 1926?
Who won the Cup of 1926? The Tottenham Hotspurs won the Cup of 1926, defeating the Arsenal Gunners by 5-0 in the presence of His Majesty King George V. Am I right, sir?
Quite right, Mr. Memory. What was that, sir? What was Napoleon's horse called? What was Napoleon's horse called?
What was Napoleon's horse called? Napoleon's horse was called Bellerophon, and he rode for the final time in Waterloo, June 15th, 1815. Am I right, sir?
Quite right, Mr. Memory.
Thank you.
What was that, sir? How old's Mae West? How old's Mae West, Mr. Memory?
Oh, I know, sir, but I never tell a lady's age.
Oh, now then, a serious question, please.
I say,
Ah, yes, who was that?
how far is Winnipeg from Montreal?
A gentleman from Canada. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
How far is Winnipeg from Montreal, Mr. Memory?
Winnipeg from Montreal, sir. Winnipeg from Montreal, 1,454 miles. Am I right, sir?
Quite right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scheiße!
Now, the
You
first
all right?
question, please.
Yes, thank you.
Did you hear that?
Excuse me.
Yes?
Calm down, ladies and gents. Calm down, please.
May I come home with you?
Well, what's the idea?
Well, I'd like to.
Calm down, please.
Well, you see, it's rather tricky at the moment. I've got the decorators in
Please,
and...
you have to.
Well, it's your funeral.
What's Napoleon's horse called? Winnipeg! Who defeated King George V by 5-0? Am I right, sir?
Very good, Mr.
Thank
Memory.
you.
That's enough, Mr.
I know,
M.
sir, but I never tell a lady's age.
Play, man, play.
Thank you.
Now, thanks,
Thank you,
Mr.
thank
Memory.
you.
Don't forget his name now.
Never can find the switch. Damn it.
Turn it off quickly. Scheiße. Blind.
Sorry.
Blind.
Blind.
Blind. Pull the blind.
Oh, blind. Sorry, of course. Blind, yes. Sorry about that.
Now's the light, Mr. Hannay.
Light, right. Have a drink, why don't you?
Thank you. For you?
Thank you.
Mr. Hannay,
How do you know my name?
I saw it in the lobby.
Yes.
I need to...
Hello, there's a telephone.
Don't answer it, please!
Why not?
Because I think it may be... for me. Please don't answer it.
Now look here.
Yes?
Am I allowed to know your name?
You don't want to know my name.
Don't I?
Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Anabella Schmidt.
So what's the story, Anabella Schmidt?
Mr. Hannay, may I be very impertinent for a moment and ask for something to eat?
Oh, but of course. Would you care for some haddock?
Haddock would be wunderbar, thank you.
Nothing like a spot of haddock. But look here.
Yes?
It was you who fired that revolver in the theater, wasn't it? It wasn't a great show, but it wasn't that bad.
It was a diversion. There were 2 men in the audience trying to shoot me.
You should be more careful in choosing your gentlemen friends.
No jokes, please, Mr. Hannay.
Beautiful, mysterious woman pursued by gunmen. Sounds like a spy story.
That's exactly what it is, only I prefer the term agent better.
Secret agent, I suppose. For which country?
I have no country.
Oh, born in a balloon, eh?
Mr. Hannay, please. I'm being pursued by a very brilliant secret agent of a certain foreign power who is on the point of obtaining highly confidential information vital to the safety of your air defense. I tracked 2 of his mentors at music hall. Unfortunately, they recognized me.
Ever heard of a thing called persecution mania?
You don't believe me?
Frankly, I don't.
They're in the streets this very moment, under your English lamppost. Have a look, why don't you? But be careful. Now, do you believe me?
You win.
Mr. Hannay, I'm going to tell you something which is not very healthy. It will mean either life or death. But if I tell you, it will mean you are involved.
Involved?
You wish to be involved?
Tell me.
Very well. Have you ever heard of the 39 Steps?
What's that, a pub?
Your English humor will not help you, Mr. Hannay. I tell you, these men will stick at nothing. I'm the only one who can stop them. And if they are not stopped, it is only a matter of days, perhaps hours, before the top secret and highly confidential information is out of the country. And once it is out of the country, God help us all.
But what about the police?
The police. They will not believe me any more than you did, what with their boots and their whistles. No, it is up to us, Mr. Hannay. I tell you, these men act quickly. You don't know how clever their chief is. I know him very well. He has 12 names, and he can look like hundreds of people. But the one thing he cannot disguise is this part of his little finger is missing. So if you should ever come across a man with no joint here, be very careful, my friend.
I'll remember that.
Mr. Hannay.
Richard.
Richard, might I, stay the night, please?
Of course, you can sleep in my bed.
Thank you.
I'll get a shake down on the armchair.
As you wish. Oh, and one more thing.
Your haddock.
Mein haddock? No, I've, rather lost the taste for haddock. No, I need
Yes?
a map of Scotland.
Scotland.
There's a man there whom I must find next, if anything is to be done. An Englishman. He lives in a big house.
A big house?
Yes, in a place called Alt-na-Shalak.
I beg your pardon?
Alt-na-Shalak.
Alt-na-Shalak. And the 39...
Bring it to my room.
Certainly.
Good night, Richard.
Good night, Anabella.